Have you ever noticed that living a simple life somehow feels a lot more complicated than it ever has? Sometimes I find myself wondering, what would life have looked like if I had grown up in a different era? And often wonder, would it have been a little bit more simple? Or do we just romanticize the past? Well, the truth is, nowadays, we have more convenience than any other generation before us. And our phones, our cameras, our GPS, our calendars, our banks, our entertainment, our shopping malls, and even connection to almost everyone that we've ever even met, right? And within seconds, we can answer almost any question that we have and get the answer within seconds. That's wonderful. But I don't think that technology really is the problem. I think the problem is that convenience and contentment just aren't the same thing. One can definitely save us time, but the other one still has to be chosen. And because somehow, despite all of this convenience that we have with our phones, life still somehow becomes louder. And even though this device is helping us navigate, it's also comparing our lives with people that we've never even met before. Sometimes I catch myself wondering, do I actually want this particular item, or have I simply seen it so many times pop up in my feed that now I believe that I should have it? I've got this perfectly functional juicer, but every time I see this beautiful $400 Nama juicer, I think, oh, I need to get that. Maybe someday I will buy it, but it also just makes me pause and ask myself, would my mornings actually be happier if I got this item, or do I just simply love the idea of owning it? There are just so many choices available to us now with the internet that just a simple decision can become a little bit exhausting. I recently just bought this ottoman poof, and before I finally went ahead and pressed the buy and clicked on it, I have to say I probably looked at about 50 other ones. And by the time I purchased it, I wasn't even excited anymore. And then, I was wondering while I was searching, is there a better one out there? Is this one the best value? Will I regret this one? Or, does it really match with everything else that I own? So I guess somewhere along the way, shopping just stopped being simple. And just, it becomes more of like a research project. And there's this quiet pressure that just seems to exist everywhere. And you start wondering, hey, what's the next thing that I need to improve? Or what is the next thing I need to buy? Or what's the next version of ourselves that we're supposed to become next? Sometimes it feels like we're no longer able to just exist simply. Maybe because we always feel like we need to be optimizing something in our life. And lately, I've been asking myself, what kind of life actually makes me feel calm and happy and at peace? I guess there's never been about like completely dropping out of society, living in the middle of nowhere, wearing a prairie dress, and chopping up firewood. I actually don't think that simple living really has anything to do with where you actually live. I think you can live in the middle of a busy city and still live a simple life. Or you can live in the mountain and while still constantly chasing something bigger, newer, and better. I think the simple life has less to do with where we live. It has more to do with what you stop measuring yourself against. I think the moment that you stop competing with someone else's definition of success, that's where it is. Life gets a little bit quieter. So I was reminded of this recently. I just bought a car, and it's an older car, about 10 years old. It's got low miles, and I absolutely love it. I'm just happy to be driving. I decided to finance a small portion of it so I didn't drain out my savings, because I felt like that was the best decision for me. And, while I was signing all the paperwork, the person handling my loan casually said to me, "Well, this is going to be your ladder car, and you can get something better in a couple of years." And I was kind of like, caught me off guard, because I thought, why would I need a car in another couple of years? If I take care of this one, shouldn't this last me many years to come? So I just said, "Oh, okay," like kind of smiled. And I said, "Honestly, I try to keep my cars for as long as possible." And, there was just no response from him whatsoever. And it wasn't uncomfortable, but it just made me start to think how I realize how deeply that we're just conditioned to believe that every purchase that we make is so temporary, and that everything that we own is simply a stepping stone for something much bigger, better, and newer. And not because what we have isn't working, but because we're just constantly being encouraged to just upgrade everything. And once I started noticing it, I realized that this is showing up everywhere, in my life. And for an example, when I go to the salon, I'll overhear conversations of other people talking about treatments that they've had that I've never even considered, all these laser treatments and brow laminations and waxing and all this newest skincare. For just a little moment in my mind, I start asking myself, should I be doing these things, or should I be wanting to try these things too? And I guess comparison has this funny way of just making something perfectly good feel somehow incomplete. So for a long time, I thought that maybe if I eventually moved to the mountains, that slower pace that I've always dreamed about, that this feeling would somehow disappear, right? And maybe some of it would, who knows? And I really do hope to live in a small mountain town someday. And I don't mean like completely isolated somewhere, but somewhere with nice nature nearby, slower rhythm of life, and maybe, close to a larger town within an hour or so. But I also know this: comparison isn't tied to a zip code. And neither is consumerism. Every community has its own version of what success is. Every place has something that people are chasing. So maybe in the mountains, people aren't looking at designer bags or beauty treatments. Maybe over there, it's whoever has the nicest truck, or the newest hiking gear, or the perfect cabin, right? Basically, comparison simply changes costumes, which means the real work probably isn't moving somewhere else, but it's deciding that enough is actually enough. And maybe simple living isn't about escaping the world. It's more about stepping off the endless treadmill of upgrades and choosing to repair instead of replacing everything, and keeping that car that's still running beautifully, and wearing the clothes that you already love in your closet instead of chasing the trends. Just enjoying an ordinary morning, maybe allowing your life to feel full without constantly trying to make it look more impressive. Because I think the more you think about it, the more that I've become to realize that the life that I'm looking for really isn't a different place, but it's actually just a different pace. And maybe that's what the simple life has been trying to teach me all this time. Well, thank you so much for watching my video today, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.